So we've been hearing a lot about the defensive focus, the intensity of training camp so far hasn't been.
It's been real high intensity, putting all the defensive schemes and just competing against each other. That's going to be the biggest thing that we need is that continuity and just that intensity.
How important is it to be able to get out on the floor? Obviously, you guys have had summer runs and stuff like that, but
it's a little different in training camp. Obviously, it's more structure, and we have I don't know how many new guys total since like the beginning of the summer all the way till now. So just getting the chance to have everybody here, everybody playing, everybody getting to know each other has been crucial for us all for preseason.
How's the communication been? I know Vogel and it's an entirely new coaching staff, a lot of new guys. How has it been hammering out those defensive principles?
It's been good. Like, a lot of the guys are picking it up pretty easily. Like a lot of stuff is not new information. So the terminology may be a little different. Most of the stuff is being done at other places that have done before. It's just getting to know it with each other.
You talked about the intensity. How competitive are these practices? You got guys like Keita Bates-Diop.
I mean, they're super competitive. Everybody's super competitive, and that level of talent with that competitiveness is going to be scary to watch, scary to be around, scary to play with and against. But it's been really, really high level every single day.
It's fun to come to work and just kind of look around and know you got to be it or you're going to be that guy.
Yeah, you can notice it if a guy doesn't bring that intensity off the rip, and everybody does. But if you slack off a little bit, it's very noticeable.
We haven't gotten to see it yet, but for you as the defensive guy, what's it like to see a team like Bradley Beal, that Booker, Kevin Durant on it at once? The challenges come with it.
Honestly, I have no choice but to be a good defender. If they're all on one team, we're going against each other, whatever it may be. So you have no choice but to become a better defender. Those are three of the best scorers, obviously, or arguably in a generation. So whoever we play against, it's not going to be easy, but it's like no one you go against is going to be nothing we haven't seen before.
Is that something you speak on now after this week and kind of realizing like this is helping me grow in a way that I couldn't have before?
Definitely. Like I said, these are three of the best scorers in the generation. So whoever, a guard from the guard wing position. So any chance you switch off, it's a whole different skill set. Obviously, KD's 7. I switch off into Bradley. He's 6'3" or whatever he says he is. He's a whole different skill set, and it's a whole different game. You got to be able to switch mentally.
Josh was telling us it kind of feels like a jungle in there with all the length that you guys have defensively. Have you gotten that same sense?
Yeah, definitely. Myself or just going against everybody on the other team, whether it's Kevin guarding me, and he's closing out quickly than me, and obviously playing against Kevin on other teams is different than him being every single day. You see how really long and tackle he can be on that end.
Your wingspan is one of the more ridiculous ones in the league. Have you had those moments yet where you get a ball and you realize like that guy probably didn't know that I had the extra bit to get in there?
Yeah, definitely. Because the coaching staff is encouraging us to not gamble, but be really active in the gaps. So yeah, we're all getting more tips and steals than we normally would have just in the aggressive side of it.
Keita, how would you compare this training camp to the one under Coach Pop?
There's similarities and differences. I would say this is more intense just because the guys we have here and the end goal of our team. But I mean, both are really intense. But this is like another level of intensity, knowing what we're playing for.
How do you feel about the bench scoring and the way you're good? Obviously, the Suns had their concerns last season with that. How do you feel you can come in and bring some more production in that department?
I think all of us are able to. We came from teams where we scored a little bit. Obviously, the big three. But whoever's out there, when one's on the bench, the other ones are out there. We're all capable scorers, capable shooters, capable with the ball, and they trust us with the ball in our hands.
What have you noticed from Nurkic so far, just in what you've seen this past week?
I didn't know he was as good of a passer. And in Portland, obviously Dame and CJ were running off stuff a lot of the time. But I didn't know how good of a passer he was at just seeing different things out there. It's a skip pass or a bounce pass. He's capable of making a lot of passes I didn't know he could.
What stood out about Yuta, Grayson, and some of your other new teammates?
Our really good shooters, they know how to play basketball. I think everyone knows how to play the game with or without the ball, know how to cut, move, just sliding up a little bit out the corner, whatever it may be. They are really good, just intelligent basketball players.
When you played against Kevin before, when you were in the Spurs last year and before, what are some of the things that Pop maybe told you about matching up against guys like him? And obviously, Kevin has his history with Pop on Team USA. Mm-hmm. Anything that is nuanced and how he told you?
Yeah, first, try not to let him get the ball because it gets much, much harder after that. But that was the first thing. After that, just try and force him into a crowd. I mean, he's really good in space. Obviously, 7 feet tall, so he can shoot over anybody. Even my length, he doesn't really see it. He doesn't see a lot of people, so it's just making it tough on him, pushing him a little bit further. I make him a little more uncomfortable.
Having that length totally make it to your advantage compared to other guys who are trying to match up with him?
I think I do a better job against him because we're similar arm length. He's a little taller than me, but it's taking the shot over anybody. I'm not saying you can't stop Kevin Durant. It's just making it a little bit tougher on him than other guys.
He's 35 now. He's 35 now. Usually guys start to
decline a little bit. I haven't seen any signs
No,
of that.
no. I know we just turned 35, but I see no drop. I see no loss in his step, no like short on his jumper, nothing. You see him like he's 25.
You may have answered this question, but you bring in Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
How does that change the dynamic as far as a lot of these positions are interchangeable?
Yeah.
And in essence, that is a benefit for the team offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at offensively, pretty much all of us can handle the ball, and those big three are really good, obviously, with the ball and really good willing passers. And Brad's another one that can do both. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands. He can move off screens. He can cut. He can do everything off the ball. And defensively, same thing with the switching. Everyone's a willing, competitive defender. That's the first thing, whether size, weight, length, whatever it may be. You have to compete first, and all that stuff can help you after.
You spent a little bit of time in San Antonio with Drew Eubanks. How's it been having him back, and what can he do on both ends?
It's good to see a familiar face around. But he one of the guys that competes extremely hard, plays hard. He's a big body, knows how to play the game, sets screens, guys get open, finishes in the paint. Just his overall competitiveness is going to be really, really big for us.
Did you work with Jesse James Lehoff when you were at the Spurs?
No, I never did.
Keita, you guys have a lot of hard-playing, defensive-minded wings. How do you differentiate yourself in that group?
My length is probably one of the bigger things. We all play hard, but my length gives me an extra inch. Just say Josh, for example, might be a little quicker, but I make it up with my length. So that's where my biggest thing is, switching on other guys, whether it's playing the Clippers against Kawhi and PG. I can feel comfortable guarding both, whoever it may be. That's my thing, is my length.
How comfortable do you kind of feel guarding on the perimeter point of attack? I'm sure you did that a little bit last year as well.
I feel very comfortable with it. It's just a progression. I'm a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit harder to play on attack. But it's just playing hard, knowing schemes, knowing knowing the other teams play, knowing the scout that we're in, and being in the right position.
What kind of things are you looking to accomplish just in the preseason?
Getting the chemistry and continuity down. I think the defense will be the biggest thing. I think the offense will come easier than the defense, just because we're so talented and everyone knows how to play basketball. But the defensive side of that, I need to come together. That's going to be probably the biggest thing. The biggest, not issue, but it's going to be a growth all season long.
One of the problems that Frank mentioned, it's not a problem, but the guys were playing a little too passive early on. What does that do for the guys in your position where the shot variation might be there on a night-to-night basis, just knowing that those three guys are going to look to find you whenever it's there?
Yeah, I mean, they're unselfish scorers. If you're open, they're going to give it to you, and they encourage us to take shots and make shots to give us that confidence. So obviously they're going to get their shots. They're going to find them wherever they can create their own. But even if they create their own and someone helps out, they're very willing every single time to kick it.
Thank you.
Thank you.